Hi, it's Megan Reeves with Essential Essentials, and I want to talk to you today about the doTERRA opportunity and what makes someone great at being a wellness advocate. So you might be wondering if this opportunity is right for you. So I have a little cheat sheet on the 5 good things that it takes, you essentials to being successful as a doTERRA wellness advocate. It's a great opportunity. It's really fun. It doesn't feel like work. And you get to make people feel great, which is what I think a lot of people want to do, is get paid to help other people and to make a positive impact on the world and to have a lifestyle of freedom. And for me, I remember the first time my background is in sales and also recruiting. And so the first time that I had a job, and I loved the job, but I was on a fixed salary. It was so weird for me. I thought, wait, no matter how hard I work, this is all I'm going to get paid. Even if I'm, better or worse at doing this job than other people, we're just all going to get paid the same. And it was such a weird concept for me. So I really like that you can obtain high levels of compensation if that's one of your goals, and if you really want a lifestyle of freedom and flexibility, and if you have plans that include being able to be, just financially benevolent so that you have opportunities to give back in bigger ways and to explore the world and really live a lifestyle that's joyful. So with that, I'm going to jump right into the 5 things that are absolutely essential for being good at doTERRA. I'm going to use my sheet. Okay, so the first one is to love people. You genuinely have to go be with people. This is a people business. You have to just have an open heart and care for people that you know, that you don't know. You just need to connect with others. And what happened for me is when I first got introduced to doTERRA, I like many people, was skeptical because I was like, wait, this is network marketing and I don't know, what are these essential oils and all of these things. And so I really just needed more education. And so the people that taught the class cared about me enough to educate me more and to help me understand why these essential oils were different than what I might have used at Whole Foods before or kind of had laying around in my drawer for years. I'm from Portland, Oregon, where there's a lot of hippies. I know all about essential oils. So my first class, I didn't really understand the medicinal power of the essential oils and that doTERRA is a different line. It is unique in those ways. And so people cared about me enough to help me have that awakening in my own consciousness, to help me have that understanding. And also, as a business person, I double majored in finance and human resources. I was turned off by the network marketing model. I think most of us are, and so someone helped me understand that it's just another business model and that actually more people become millionaires through network marketing than any other avenue in the United States, which I found fascinating. I love that because I think financial freedom can just be such a gift and a way to really expand in the world and do a lot more good if you're not worried about living, and making bill money and living paycheck to paycheck like so many people are. So you have to really care about people and you have to care about them where they're at. So you have to reach into wherever they're at, whatever's right for them, whatever their level of understanding is, and let that be okay and love them in that place and help them grow and expand. So the other thing is, once I understood what the essential oils were doing in my life, it was magical. So I naturally wanted to share that with other people. I was feeling so good, and so it was hard for me to hear about somebody who's, constantly getting sick or isn't sleeping through the night or is struggling with depression or these other things, allergies, and not offer them a simple solution that I knew would help them and be good for them. So to me, I at least want to invite people to the possibility of trying a natural solution. Now, everyone's personality is different, and so I really think that this has to happen in an authentic way. For me, I'm pretty good at just, taking a spray bottle and spraying down anyone that I see, asking them, can I spray you with some essential oils? Or, hey, give me your hand, try this if you're tired, some peppermint, wake you up, those kind of things. And that works for me. But everyone has a different way of authentically sharing. So it's whatever works for you. But my mind literally started thinking in terms of essential oils. As I got to know, I got my starter kit and I learned about those, 10, 11 oils, and then I got some more products the next month and I learned about those oils, and then I learned about hormones, and I learned about emotional healing, and I learned about all skin, all these different things. So for me, I loved that. which gets us into my second point, which is that you have to love learning. So this opportunity is not for the faint of heart. This is like you have to be a person who wants to grow, who wants to learn, and whatever that means for you. So some people need to learn more skills about how to communicate with others. Some people want to teach classes, but they're terrified of public speaking. That's a really common one, and there are some oils to help with that. You have to just love learning and growing. It's been such a fascinating experience for me learning about the human body, learning about plant-based medicine and the chemical constituents of the different oils and why they impact the way that they do. Also, learning about business skills. That's a big thing for people. And there are going to be points in this opportunity where it's like you just need to do some inner development work to reach that next level. So learning is a must. And I always say to new people, this is on-the-job training. This opportunity is really hard for those people who want to figure everything out before they start. We call that analysis paralysis, and it makes it really hard to get going in doTERRA. This is one of those things where if you know how to use one oil and you've had an oil experience, you can share that with someone else. You already have the tools to help someone with what you know, because you know more than they do. And you've just got to trust that there are systems in place and tools and mentors and people and resources to help you. So as you need the information, the right teachers and tools will become available. So trusting that process is a must. So the first, loving people. The second, being a learner at heart and valuing education and personal growth. The third, you have to have a personal oil experience. So I've had some people try to join this opportunity just for the money. Do you think that worked? No, it didn't work very well. They didn't last, because if you don't genuinely connect to what it is that you're doing and using, and especially if you're doing this full-time as a business, you just can't pass along that authentic enthusiasm if it's not in your heart, if it's not something you've experienced. So for me, what really shifted, and I was like, well, maybe I will do this as a business, there were a few gateways that I went through. The first was the education of understanding that I hadn't used these essential oils before and lived a wellness lifestyle. So through my consultation, I got on a daily routine and I gave it a try. The second thing is, I used to be sick all the time. I was like the sickest, healthiest person you knew. It was so weird. My friends would suggest maybe you need to be less healthy, right? I practically eat vegan and mostly raw. I do yoga, I meditate, I'm nice to other people, I drink water, I don't have a lot of toxins in my life, right? And so I was sick all the time. I used to keep a calendar and I felt sick more days than I felt well. And it was really inconvenient and I hated getting sick because I don't like to be laid up in bed. That's not fun. If I'm going to have to miss work, I want to be like off doing something fun, right? So for me, once I started rebuilding my immune system and working on my adrenal glands, I felt so much better. So much better. So for me, that powerful experience where I had been frustrated and looked for a lot of solutions. In fact, I would fight with my acupuncturist all the time because his only solution he could conclude for me that we hadn't tried was that I needed to start eating meat. And for me, I didn't want to do that. And so we were in this gridlock, So once I found doTERRA, that all changed for me. So being able to have that experience was a big thing. And then the third thing that happened for me is I was doing this and kind of as a side business and, because I had a really big corporate job and my plate was very full and I loved the oils and I thought, well, if I could do this full time, like some of these other stories I've heard, these people making $30,000 a month and, just having this dream life and traveling and connecting with others and being a healer and just being paid, highly compensated to be themselves, which is what I always wanted. I thought, well, maybe I could do that. And so what happened, though, is that over Christmas this last year, I went to Portland, Oregon, and I taught 4 classes. So I went to Portland, Oregon, and I taught these 4 classes, and I had fun sharing. I felt like I was contributing. I would have done it for free because I care about people, and I wanted them to know how much these essential oils could help them stay well and take care of their families in a natural way. And so when I came home that next week, there's something in doTERRA called Fast Start bonuses, and they're paid every Wednesday. So when I came home, I checked my mail, and I used to get a lot of bills, and now I get these doTERRA checks every week, which is really nice. And I opened the check, and it was for $998. $998 just from teaching those 4 classes and earning these fast start bonuses. And so for me, I had this aha moment where I thought, wow, one, that was enough to cover my whole rent for the next month. And it was just such a fun experience. It didn't feel like work at all. Like I said, I would have done it for free. So I thought, okay, if I can focus more of my attention and effort towards building a doTERRA business, I could replace my income and even increase it. So that was another aha moment for me and a gate that I walked through about building the business of doTERRA. So number 4, what is important is to have grit. So some people may not know what grit is. I know when I first heard the term, I liked it, but I wasn't quite sure. So grit is that inner tenacity within you that persists through all challenges and obstacles. It's that place within you that decides you're not going to be a victim. You're not going to blame external circumstances, people, places, things, your childhood, your boss, your person who introduced you to doTERRA who's not helping you. All of these things that you're going to let go of all excuses and you're going to focus on yourself and what you have control over and the powers that you have to make changes. Because I believe this to be very true the longer that I've lived and watched other people's lives. We create our own lives. We create them through our habits, through the way we think about the world, our perceptions, our actions, our thoughts, all of these things. So you've got to have this grit, because being a life coach, working with people for many years, if you do not have a deep inner resilience, you will give up on a goal. I promise you. So one of the best ways to stay committed to a path is to have a really strong why, to know why you're doing something and why it's important, and to be continuously reminded of that. We're human. We have quick forgetters, is what I like to call it. But really, whether it's a weight loss goal, a long-term relationship, some kind of career thing, or saving up to take a trip, whatever it is, if you do not have an inner conviction of strength and determination, because in life, obstacles are going to come up. There are going to be distractions. And so this is so critical to remain true to your core goal of whatever that is, and to the way that you want to feel when you achieve that. How will it feel when you have a 6-figure income, or when you're able to stay at home with your kids, or these various things? Like, how will that feel, and why is that important to you? You've got to connect to the emotion of it, and that is going to be your power spot. That's going to be, when things get tough, your go-to place where you can really re-inspire and rejuvenate yourself. The other thing I tell people is that you are the gatekeeper of your own mind. And I've had to remind myself of this a lot, because it's up to me who I let be around me, who I listen to, what I watch on TV, what movies I watch, what radio I listen to, what books I read. What am I feeding myself? And I try to keep myself in a very positive, fertile environment, because, if you look for it, or not even, maybe don't even look for it, there's a lot of negativity out there in the world. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot going on that I choose for myself to try to remind on a daily basis me to rise above all of those circumstances and situations, so that I can feel like I'm living in part of the solution. So I always say, pick your surroundings, keep yourself in a positive space where you're really filled up, and the people around you and the choices you're making and the activities help you be the person that you want to be. And it's, of course, we're all a work in progress. So it's progress, not perfection, is my motto. And so that's going to be really important, to find and keep that inner grit. And it's up to you. I've seen it. There are people who literally have had almost no support and who have come across so much adversity, and they have an inner will that they just make it anyway. They let go of excuses. They don't play the victim. They know where their heart's at. They put their actions and their words in the right direction, and they keep going. There's no stopping them. And those people are always going to make it. And then I've seen other people who are handed everything on a silver platter. I've even tried to do this with some people that I work with. It's like, I believe in them, give them everything. They have every opportunity. These people out there in the world who are just handed things, and they don't appreciate it, and they look for every excuse and opportunity to not succeed. They just don't have that inner grit that is going to lead them to success. So this is critical. You've got to find the self-awareness to really realize where you're at and to take your power back and to realize that you're creating your business to look exactly how it is. And if you don't like it, it's up to you to change it. Same with what I tell people about their lives. If they're working on some issue, their relationships, or if they're trying to lose weight, it's a daily choice. Our choices add up to what our lives look like. So that's number 4. And then number 5, lastly, is to mentor others. So it is true that in this business, as you continue to grow, it's going to be up to you to mentor and nurture others and to become a leader. And this is really exciting because I believe all of us can be leaders. I believe that everyone, whether they know it or not, someone's out there watching you, whether it's your children or somebody in your family or someone that just looks up to you. Someone is out there watching you, and you are a leader to some people. And in doTERRA, you can quickly become a leader to many people if you're doing the business, which is wonderful because it's a huge opportunity to grow. One of the things I love, the sayings, is that relationships are like pouring Miracle-Gro on your character defects, right? Human relationships are hard. We know that about romantic relationships, and business relationships are no different. Family relationships, right? So there are opportunities for us to gain self-awareness and to grow and make choices. And so as a leader, you're really going to look for, I believe in strength-based leadership. So what are your natural organic strengths and how can you nurture those? And then how can you learn enough about other people to help them identify their strengths and nurture and grow those? So for this last point, I think the more you can read business books or books about psychology, if you like personality tests like the Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram or the True Colors, whatever your thing is, astrology, however you objectively learn about yourself, the way you think, the way you communicate, all those things that make you tick, the better off you're going to be because you're going to start to have more self-awareness leads to more self-control so that you can really be the person, the best version of yourself. And 2, you can better understand other people and meet their needs. One of the tests that I love, if you haven't read the book, The 5 Love Languages, it's awesome, and you can take a free test online. But everyone close to me in my life, I always want to know their love languages because that way I know how they feel appreciated, how they feel safe, and how they get their needs met. And if you're going to be close to someone, all of those things are going to be really important. And not that you're editing or changing yourself in any way. It's that you're just speaking a language that the other person can understand. And particularly when you're in management or when you're leading a team, it's important to be able to work with various different personality types and to be really dynamic in your communication skills and just understanding of other people. I have learned there are personality types that are really used to be very difficult for me and sometimes still are, that we don't communicate the same, we don't think the same, we don't feel inspired in the same ways, we don't make decisions the same way, right? Those people who want to analyze everything, that's not my style. It's like I go with my intuition and my gut and I know right away, and so there's just a different process. Well, it's really important that over time I've learned to work with that personality and appreciate them and the gifts that they bring. So inner work and self-development is going to be critical at some point sooner or later to being successful in the doTERRA business. So we have a lot of tools, a lot of resources out there to help you in each of these areas. But if this doesn't, this should light you up and sound fun and inspiring and challenging. And if that is true, then this is the right opportunity for you and you are already well on your way. Because like I mentioned, we can give you all the tools and train you in the skill set and all the technical things about doing a doTERRA business, but you've got to bring the heart. You've got to bring the willingness and the courage and want to do this. Because to me, what you're actually doing in doTERRA is you're sharing hope. You're giving the gift of hope to other people. And it's such an awesome experience, when you leave a class and you've sat with someone who feels just burnt out, stressed out, frustrated, and is living a low-level, low-quality life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. And you get to serve as a point of inspiration or give them a nugget of knowledge that they get to leave that class with, or whatever it is, whatever your gifts are that you're going to share with others, you are giving hope, which I think is one of the best gifts that you can give people. So I'm really excited that you watched this video. If you feel like doTERRA is right for you, we're so excited to work with you, and thank you for letting me share today the 5 things that I believe it takes to be really successful in doTERRA in my experience. So again, 1 is to love people. Number 2 is to be a learner at heart and love education and growing. Number 3 is you have to have a personal experience that makes it authentic as to why you're using the oils and the products, and then also why you ended up doing the business. And nobody really that makes it long in the business is doing it without a story. So you definitely have a story too. Number 4, you have to have grit. That is something you've got to bring to the table. No one can give that to you. And then number 5, developing yourself as a mentor and a leader, and how to build high quality relationships with others. That's going to be really, really important, and that comes from personal growth and inner development work. So those are the 5 things that lead you to success, and I look forward to working with you, and thank you so much for watching.